What's scarier than trying to get rid of those pests? Stay tuned. We'll let you know. Okay guys, it's that time of the year. It's October. Scary ghost stories. Woo! So we're going to start you off with one today. Get a call. Noises in the attic, noises in the wall. We show up to the house. We meaning me. I take my FLIR camera. We use this camera a lot. Those of you that don't know about a FLIR camera, I have it plugged in because it wasn't charged when I was filming this. But this is what a FLIR camera does. It picks up body heat, heat signatures. This is my hand. If you see the temperature changing, 80 degrees, it's picking up the blood in my hand. It's picking up the cold spots. You can see the blue line on the outside. So that's how it works. We use it sometimes to pinpoint things in walls, dead animals, sometimes live animals. We're trying to get a heat signature. Get to this house, knock on the door, start to go through my procedure. The lady tells me that the noises are coming from the master bedroom. So she walks me into the master bedroom and explains that the noises happen in the wall that the bed faces, and they happen at a certain time in the evening, in the morning, 2 a.m. And it smells like coffee every time she hears the noises. So I think automatically, like every other call that we get, it's either going to be anything from a rat, mouse, raccoon, possum. This one's up in the wall, so probably not skunk. So I take out the camera and I start running the FLIR camera across the wall. After about 2 up and downs along the wall, the camera completely shuts off. Now I know I have charged this camera before I've gone to the job because I do it every time before I go to the job. So I take the camera and I start scanning another section of the wall, pressing the button, it turns back on. I go back to the original wall where the noises are, the camera goes off. It repeats this process about 4 times. I'm just thinking the battery's not fully charged, the camera is malfunctioning. So I let the customer know I'm going to go out to the truck. I'm going to plug it into my charger and see maybe if it just didn't get charged fully, and then I can complete the rest of the inspection why the camera charges. As I take the camera out to the truck, it turns back on again, full bars, and it's running fine. At this point, I put the camera away. I'm going to rely on the old nose and eyes. So I get up in the attic. Now, I want to preface, these houses were built in the early 1900s. They actually have horse and buggy garages, so they're really tiny. That's what they were made for. So cars literally can't even fit into these. And we have a whole section of town that has these type of houses. So either late 1800s or early 1900s. So a lot of history to the house. I crawl up in the attic. I look at the insulation. There are no runways. There's no tattered insulation. There's no signs of any type of droppings, be rat, mouse, or even coon droppings or possum. So I start to go over to the section above where that wall is. She has rolled insulation. I move that insulation back and there's nothing there. So I come back down, I do another inspection, I get on the roof, I look for entry points. There's absolutely no entry points, not even for rats or mice. She has a crawl space. We proceed, me, to go into the crawl space. Nothing's in the crawl space. All the foundation vents are sealed. I can't even find a pipe that's had the screen ripped where they just didn't seal it when they ran a pipe through it. Everything is solid. So I go back into the house, I let her know my findings, and I said, I don't know what's going on here. You got no signs of any type of rodents or any type of critters. I think maybe you have ghosts. And I'm just joking. At that time, her face literally goes pale. And I'm thinking, what else does she want to tell me? And right when I'm thinking that, she says, well, there's a little more to the story. And I said, please tell. And she goes, at 2 in the morning when it smells like coffee, as I open my eyes and I look down towards the wall, I've seen a little girl standing at my bed. At that time, just like now, I get goosebumps all over my arms, and I'm thinking, you have the wrong person. You need Ghostbusters. So I don't know what happened with that house, but here's the scary part. We left that house, never heard from the lady again. We looked at that house on the historic registry, and a little girl had died in that house. So that is my ghost story. You guys may have them too. My FLIR camera was running just fine. I got to the end of the street leaving that job, tried it one more time, it ran fine, and never had a problem on this camera since. As you can see, it works fine. So that's my scary ghost story for October. So What does that story have to do with today's featured product? I'm going to tell you. It's a Demon. Demon Wettable Powder. What is Demon Wettable Power? Power. It's got a lot of power, but it's wettable powder. That's what that stands for. What's so good about Demon? Being a wettable powder, the residual holds up better than your normal concentrates. And it's awesome on non-porous and porous surfaces. Demon Wettable Powder comes either in a case like this with 12 of these packs right here, or you can buy an individual pack which has 4 water soluble packets inside. What does that mean, guys, gals, whoever? Let's talk about it. You take open the foil wrapper, rip it open. It's got the 4 in there we just talked about. You put the amount into your preferred method style of sprayer, and it's going to dissolve in the water. You don't take the packets out that are in there. The actual coating around the packet is water soluble. It will dissolve. It takes about 1 to 2 minutes. The best way to do it, I'm going to give you a backpack sprayer example. Fill it up about halfway, the amount that you want to spray. Let's say it's 1 gallon of water, half full of water. Put in the amount of packets you're going to want to put in. Let's say it's 1 packet. One of these packets is about 0.33 grams of active ingredient, or of ingredient not active. So 2 of those, it's just going to double that, right? So 1 packet will cover most applications for a gallon's worth of water in the square footage that you're going after. If you want to make it more powerful, then you're going to do the higher dose, 2 packets. But what's awesome about Syngenta that makes this product, they've really laid it out in the label back here. And without my glasses, I can't read this, but they break this down into the specific insect you're going after. They're going to break it down to how many packets you need for that, the light dose versus the strong dose. But they've also even put in here what the risk management is for resistance. They've actually put that into here, telling you that you need to mix your products. It's something we've spoke about in previous videos. You don't want to apply the same product all the time, especially on accounts that you're back to all the time. They will build up a resistance. So they're telling you on the Demon packet to mix that. Every 3 months is what we go with. You can go a little longer. You don't really need to go shorter, but you don't want to expose the same insects over and over that are not getting killed, getting enough on them to wipe them out. They'll become resistant. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you use this product. But the reason these wettable powders work so well, I can't even talk today, is when it goes on the surface. Think about this. When you put that on the concrete, or let's say a piece of wood would be a better example. The water goes into the wood, absorbs in, but the powder stays on top. So it puts a film on top of there. Same with the concrete surfaces. It's going to put that film over. And when they pick that up, there's just so much more active ingredient. So wettable powders, they're used on crops all the time because it just holds up better on the leaves and doesn't give that damage that some of the petroleum products will do, where they'll burn the leaves. So this is why the pest industry, a lot of the professionals will use this as one of their go-to products. It's a fast knockdown. You're going to notice killing within an hour, and then it's going to leave that long-lasting residual. Now, let's go back to the bugs that we talked about earlier. Depending on what you're using on the label, it's going to tell you how to apply that product. So it's going to be different for a fire ant mound. Boy, I am really having a hard time today. Versus a trail of ants or flea and ticks. It's going to tell you how often you can come back and do it, and the amount you should put down and how you should apply it. Let's talk about a fire ant mound. You got one that you've come across. You can't drench that thing or hit it with a power sprayer because it could cause the ants to disperse, and then you're not going to get that whole colony. So when you put this on, it's going on very lightly. Sometimes you'll expose the pack and you'll gently sprinkle the water on until you flood that mound. One of the things with Demon Wettable Powder, you're not, besides the fire ant mound, you're not going to run this, you're not going to put so much on where you're going to do it to run off or even drip. I think there's one occasion on here that it's going to come to a drip, and it's for scorpions. But Demon Wettable Powder, guys, it's a fantastic, let me turn around so you see it again. It's a fantastic product. Remember, there's 4 soluble packets in here, 1 packet per gallon of water, or even 1 packet for a little more water, depending on what you're going after, what mix rate you're going to need to apply this. Can it be applied indoors, outdoors? Yes. Indoors, crack and crevice. It can be used in food handling establishments, but not anywhere near where the food is going to be prepared, kept, or out and about. So when it's talking about food handling, it's going to be in the garbage areas. It's going to be in the bathrooms, things like that. Maybe the seating areas where the people are. You can apply this to rooms, residents, things like that, but never when people are around. One thing that comes to mind, we've always talked about the fish. It's very toxic to fish. 25 feet away from any water source like a lake, pond, if you're outdoors. Indoors, once again, cover those fish tanks up, unplug the filter so it's not sucking anything in, and then once you're done spraying, you can uncover and put it back in. No pets, don't leave your birds in the room. All people, pets, animals must come out until the spraying is done. Ventilate the area, bring them back in. The wettable powders, like a lot of the other ones, it's not going to have really any odor to it. Where I would not recommend this, indoors on dark surfaces like hardwood floors. It's going to leave a powdery residual on any dark surfaces. So is that going to wreck the surface? No, but it's going to freak people out that aren't aware that it can be wiped up. So it will leave that powdery surface. If you're willing to tolerate that and wipe out the bugs and then come back and mop afterwards, then have at it, knock yourself out. But be aware, it will leave a residual on darker surfaces. Any questions on Demon WP Wettable Powder? Reach out to us, guys. The label, once again, is awesome. And this is every label, guys. They just walk you through it. They walk you through how you should apply the chemical for what you're going after. What I do like about this is the resistance management program that they put on here from Syngenta. It's just a beautiful reminder to not just constantly get stuck on one product and just apply it all the time as your go-to. It can be your go-to, but in a rotation with other things. So rotate about every 3 months is what we like. There's no set in stone on that. You do what works for you, but that's the minimum that I would do is the 3 months, and then you can send it out to maybe 3 months. But Demon WP, I am having a hard time on this video, but Demon WP Wettable Powder, once again, fantastic product. Always wear the protective personal equipment. They call that the PPE. That'll be on your label too. It'll tell you what you should have on, whether it be long sleeves, socks, shoes, chemical resistant gloves, whatever it may be. Even when handling these packets, please put on either disposable gloves or chemical resistant gloves. It's still a chemical inside that packet. Demon WP, guys. Thanks for watching the videos. Craig again at howtopest.com. If you have any questions, we'd love to answer them for you guys. Have a happy Halloween, and let this demon be something that scares your insects away. Take care, guys.